Who Needs a Superhero? Chapter 12, Part 1. Chapter 12 is The Punisher versus Green Arrow. What is God like? Okay, so here is Part 1. The Punisher versus Green Arrow. As much as a comic, fans love a brawl between unlikely opponents, especially the rare crossover between characters from different companies. This particular match doesn't look promising. The Punisher totes more firepower than the NRA convention, not to mention the grenades and the Gerber Mark II combat knife, and he kills without remorse. Green Arrow carries, yes, indeed. Green Arrow carries, yes, indeed, a bow with gimmicky arrows. The original Green Arrow was a fun-loving adventurer who never harmed a fly. A battle between the Punisher and Green Arrow probably wouldn't last longer than one page. No, make that one panel. Yet this particular contest represents an ongoing disagreement in our culture over clashing pictures of God. Actually, I think it would last longer than that. Be an interesting matchup. I'd like to see somebody do something like that. Punisher versus Green Arrow. Sure enough, people have many different ways of thinking about God. Not to mention, not everyone who uses the name God has the same idea in mind. Maybe that shouldn't be so surprising. God is so big that no single notion of him will ever capture the fullness of who he is. In fact, most thinking about God consists of comparisons. We compare God with something tangible that can be seen and understood. For instance, when we say we call God Father or Shepherd or King, we are really saying the unseen heavenly God has some things in common with the visible, earthly parents, sheep herders, and rulers. In some ways, our thinking about God is like the story of the blind men, each of whom felt a different part of the elephant, and as a result, one blind man decided an elephant is like a pillar, another likened the elephant to a snake. Still others compared to the elephant to a wall, a rope, or a spike. Who was right? All of them, and none. Each experienced one small part of the elephant, but none of them had the whole picture. How easy to make the same mistake with God, to grab hold of one tiny truth about him and think there's no more to discover. There's a big picture, to be sure. While some pictures are clearer and truer than others, no picture of God is altogether adequate. Since comic books are largely devoted to bigger-than-life superheroes, you'll find that some of the most prevalent, if not always the most accurate ways of thinking about God, are represented in those colorful pages. That's the end of part 1. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, share, and comment. Have a great and wonderful day, and we'll be back soon. Hopefully tomorrow with part 2.